Hello, everyone, and welcome to Muscle Asylum Radio and TV once again. This is going to be our fourth installment of our TV on YouTube, or our YouTube channel, and then obviously we're going to add it to our podcast on iTunes and SoundCloud, which will be episode 86. I'm on school holiday, so we're going to smash through the content while I've got a break, and Gally's not doing anything these days either. He's just living a retired life. Look, today we've got something pretty special. We're going to do a round table of Aussie bodybuilding pros, and we've got our three bodybuilding pros that will be competing at the Arnold Classic in Australia. So please welcome Sam Pearce, Josh Lenartowicz, and I nailed it. I did it good, didn't I? No, did I fuck it up? Oh, I thought I did good. And Justin Wessels, how are you, boys?
There you go, mate.
Listen, look, well, we're going to ask a bunch of questions, but what I want this video to be more than anything is educational for all the guys out there who look up to you guys. You know what I mean? So all the questions that we're going to ask you directly, I want the conversation to go all around the table, basically. So I want you guys to ask questions about each other's preps, and hopefully people can take something away from this and learn from what the guys at your level are doing. Look, I'm gonna just kick things off. I'm just gonna ask Josh a question that has been on literally everyone's mind in the entire country, and I get asked this every single day because people know that I do know you personally, and I see it on social media all the time, and people just really, really want to know whether or not you're going to keep the beard for stage. Because you should. It suits you. Like, does everyone agree here that you look like a Spartan warrior with that beard on right now?
Thanks, mate. Yeah, I actually want to, but I think the leaner your face looks, the bigger your body looks. So, I don't know. That might be to my disadvantage on stage.
Your face is looking very lean this far out. I must say. I don't think I've ever seen your face looking this lean this far out.
No, I'm normally pretty fat all the way until the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah. Sammy, how have you been going so far?
Yeah, everything's in cruise control for me, man. I was just saying before, like it's Josh told me the novelty will wear off, but for me right now, I'm just enjoying it. Like it's my second show. I'm doing it again on the biggest stage. One of the biggest stages in the world, versus the best of the best. So, I'm sitting in front now with Justin and Josh, who I used to look up to when I was a lot younger.
What do you mean used to?
Huh?
What do you mean?
You're my competition now, bro. So. You train so hard, so your heroes become your competition, right? So, I'm here now. I'm just enjoying it, man. I'm just glad to be a part of it all again,
Can I just add, Gretch? Sam and I probably live maybe 2 blocks apart, but we're just one of those things. We're always too busy to catch up. But mate, he's very, very big. That's the biggest I've ever seen Sam.
Well, very impressive. I've been following Sam, obviously.
So he's doing a job.
I'm sitting ahead. I'm sitting slightly ahead.
I've been watching Sam's pics on social media, and your back has grown. You definitely have made some improvements. Like, look, last year obviously was your first pro show, and you tested the waters. What's your expectations this year in comparison to last year?
Look, man, I'm just looking to beat my last performance as all I can do, because in the past I've done that. I've won shows and come out, and just because I've come out better, I deserve to win again. Like, you never know who's going to turn up on the day. Well, this is a little bit different. You're versing the best of the best in the world. So all I can really do is just beat my last performance. And my first time round was just to, I'm never going to be the biggest guy coming out there. So just be as straight as I can. And, and now I put on a bit of muscle and just, do the same thing, bring a better package year in, year out, and show my consistency and my improvements.
Obviously want to place a little bit higher than what you did last year. And that's a tick.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting a bit more of a look, that'd be good. And struck the eye, but yeah, a few more places would be great. That'd be the cherry on top, of course, yeah.
Well, they know who you are now, you know what I mean? Like, doing back-to-back shows like you did year in, year out. Obviously, last year was your first year, but this is obviously going to get you noticed a lot more now. And have you got any overseas shows planned after this, or is it just the...
Yeah, man, yeah. Right now, I've got my contracts there, so I've got the Indiana Pro that I'm putting together for that. That's 2 weeks after. And then, just judging how I go from that, like I don't want to commit to the Cali in Toronto, but they're about 10 weeks after that, which is a good time frame for me. But I just got to see how my CNS is pulling in, obviously financially as well. I just got to get the stars on the line, and I'd like to do those ones. But I really want to get out there and test the waters. Like competing overseas is where I've got to go, and I don't want to be just waiting once a year just to compete or apply to try and just compete in the Arnolds. I want to prove myself and get out there and get my face amongst it all.
Yeah, definitely. Justin, I just obviously want to start off by passing on my wholehearted condolences for your father passing recently. An absolute credit to you for continuing on with your preparation for your first pro show. Have you? Please, can you, if you don't mind, just tell everyone how you've emotionally maintained your motivation to continue with your preparation.
Oh, look, mate, it's well, I'd be lying if I said that I was able to stay on top of things and maintain everything perfectly. With Dad's passing, Dad and I were close, and it absolutely knocked the stuffing out of me. I remember talking to Big Josh when I bumped into him at one of the shows about how he coped with what he went through, and very similar. Just, mate, your head's not in it. As much as you want to try and stick to it and continue to diet and train, and it's just. You just go through the motions. Your head's not in it. Your attention is solely focused elsewhere, and there's a lot of emotions that go through your head. So, look, it's funny. I was really excited about this prep. For once, I'm going into a show. There's no pressure on me. I was really excited to just have a lot of fun with this. So first time on a pro stage, there was always an expectation on amateur stages, but on this stage with these guys, and like Big Sam said, the best in the world. There's no pressure on me, so I was really looking forward to it. But the time the prep started was when Dad really went downhill, and then passed away just before Christmas. So it's been really tough. It's been really tough. But that will also be probably the one as I use for my motivation to continue. So my dad was always my biggest supporter with the bodybuilding. He loved it. Any of the shows that he could get to, he came. And knowing Dad the way that I do, that if I did give it away and throw the towel in, mate, pure and simple, he'd certainly be disappointed. No one wants to disappoint their dad, but he kicked my ass, mate. So the funeral this week actually provided a lot of closure. It actually surprised me how much closure and I guess how much peace of mind that did provide. So since then, it's new attitude, new focus, and actually starting to feel pretty good again, So it hasn't been ideal leading up to this, but moving forward, with Dad in my corner, I'm pretty excited that I can still put something on stage that he and I can both be proud of.
Did you find that because you've done so many shows and you're so used to the whole process of a contest preparation, you still did everything you needed to do regarding your training, your cardio, your dieting, your meal prep? Your mind may not have been there 100%, and it's not all you were thinking about, but you still maybe didn't miss a step because you're so used to the process? Or did you find that you actually did miss a few steps here and there?
Good question. No, look, I really didn't miss a step, but mate, I guess what saved me was I've done it so many times. It was kind of autopilot, going through the motions, but not training with any intensity. Sticking to the diet as best I could. The urge was to, I'm not a drinker, but eating food that tastes good provided a lot of comfort. So there were certainly some massive temptations to piss the diet off and just go and eat whatever I wanted, but I didn't. I really didn't make much progress during that time, but I certainly didn't go backwards. But I know my body pretty well, and where I'm at between now and when the shows are, I'm still fairly well placed. So yeah, like I said, with the new attitude, new focus, now that we've laid Dad to rest, I'm pretty confident that when I'm back up on stage, it'll be with that trademark condition and hopefully have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and the same in regards to Josh going through the same thing he did not last year, the year before. I think it was with leading up to the Olympia. You'll have the entire country backing you up and supporting you 100%. Yeah, and to have guys like Sam and Josh side by side next to you on stage, I think is going to make the process a lot more comfortable. I think and a lot more enjoyable, and what you take away from the day at the end of the day. This is just me. Just obviously, I can't speak from experience, but knowing the two blokes that you're going up against and side by side on stage, I know that you're going to get the support that you definitely need to to bring your best package that you're known for bringing on stage. So yeah, 100% have the support of the entire country, mate. No doubt about that.
Well, thank you, mate. Thank you. And I must say, I am pretty excited actually about jumping on stage with Josh and Sam. When the list came out, I wasn't entirely sure who was going to be in it, and I had spoken to Josh before and indicated that he would be there. But when I saw Sam's name, it's pretty cool, and it's going to be fun standing next to these blokes. And whilst it is a competition, us Aussies, mate, we stick together. So it'll be the three of us trying to give it to the rest of them. And Josh can battle the big boys. I'll just get up there and show them what condition looks like.
Mate, I already respect you tremendously, and you going through all this and then still competing. I just think it speaks volumes to your character, man. And I think anyone out there, especially coming to the Arnold, they're already going to give you a huge round of applause. But I just think you almost need tenfold because of what you're going through. It's a huge, burden what you have to carry all the way through it. And man, it's just really admirable. Because mine was towards the end, leading into the contest. I mean, you've started your prep and it all happened. And I don't know, being in the same shoes, if I would have done the same thing. So I'd really just take my hat off to you, man. I think you're amazing.
Well, I think look, yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It was very tough. It is one of the biggest things I've ever faced, and unfortunately, I did get to say goodbye. A lot of people, with loved ones, actually don't get to say goodbye, so that did provide some comfort. But saying goodbye was one of the hardest things I've ever done.
Best thing about it is that you use it as a driving force. Like it's always hard to take the positives out of a negative situation, but to look at it, we always grieve and things like that. But when you use it as that driving force to get you over the line, to me that speaks a lot, because that's something I always preach, to somehow in the worst situation to find some sort of positive out of it and use it as that driving force.
Well, I agree, mate. I agree. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. We'll move on to you a little bit, Josh. Now, on our last podcast with Tony, we briefly mentioned you and spoke about your preparation and your build up so far, and I mentioned how healthy you look, and I go back to when we had that promoters meeting back in Melbourne. It was a few months ago now, and how healthy you looked, and obviously you rejuvenated yourself a lot over your off season. Tell us a little bit about your off season and the lead up to your prep, because your outlook and your motivation and your mindset just seems completely different, but it seems 100% on track and where it needs to be.
Yeah, man. Well, going back last year, I actually really wanted to do the Arnold's US and Australia. And honestly, man, I had like post-traumatic stress disorder from everything that happened. I was just sort of pushing it aside. And I didn't realize how bad it was until March, really. I already knew it was causing havoc on my body, and I just lost the passion and the love, as I've spoken about before. But man, having the year off, it's been the best thing for me, and I feel so much better mentally. I just feel really in love with competing again, in love with going to the gym and training and doing the cardio as hard as it is. It's in a deficit. I'm just really happy, man, and getting all making sure you're regular about all your testing and stuff. I went and got a CT angiogram. So anyone out there who's doing strength training, bodybuilding and whatnot, make sure you look after your health. So it's called a CT angiogram and echocardiogram. It's the only thing that can test for occlusions in your artery walls. So that's really the best indicator for your heart. And heart health's the main thing for what we do with our sport. And every athlete's got a bigger heart, but it's really important to make sure everything's good. So just having that peace of mind, especially after everything that happened with Dallas, and then getting a blood test done regularly, your liver, your kidneys, your hemoglobin level. So all those things are very, very important and vital just to give you peace of mind anyway about your longevity in this sport and life in general. But having just the year just to mentally prep and focus, I started really getting ready 20 weeks out, slowly cutting things out. I mean, you saw me at the Nationals. I was 145 or so there, which I don't recommend getting that big again, because it's been a pain in the ass trying to get all the weight off. But yeah, it's been a really good prep. So I'm happy I'm doing the work. I'm in a good space. I just hope I can keep this up and bring my best to the show.
Yeah, definitely.
Josh, let's go back a little bit. I remember obviously when you did Tampa and you won that, and you looked amazing. And obviously just after that, Dallas passed, and it was a tough road into the Olympia. And then after that, you said, a lot of things caught up with you and things like that. Was there any time at all that you actually thought maybe giving it away? And if so, when was the actual time that actually came back to you where that spark hit you again and you actually thought, you know what, I want to give this another go. I want to compete again?
It was really from saying as soon as the show at the Olympia was over, because I was hating doing that prep, and I didn't hardly sleep at all until like the week of the show, really. And so really from there, I pretty much lost the passion, and then I thought, man, this isn't right. I do love bodybuilding. I've worked my whole life towards it and sacrificed everything for it. So I thought best thing to do is jump into another show, and I'll just get into that rhythm, like you cardio morning and night and weights, and it'll just come back to me. And it didn't. And that's sort of when I knew something was wrong. And I was considering completely just whole life change. And because, of course, if you don't love something, you're not going to do the extra that's required from it. So that's what happened to me. And just getting back into training and lifting heavy and, it all come back. So just time. I think the most important thing is if you're going through that sort of thing, like you've lost your passion and for something you love. I mean, life's too short. Go and do something else for a bit. And if you find you love it again, come back to it. And that's my advice.
How does it feel, just quickly again? Obviously, Dave Palumbo is pumping you up a lot on his muscle in the morning. He does talk about you quite frequently. You're one of the front. Nice, there's no doubt about it. How does that make you feel after having such a big time off, after obviously a disappointing time to get that sort of feedback in America, especially when you're not over there?
Yeah, it's really exciting, man. It's really exciting because coming from like being a new pro and competing and getting my ass smashed and like not placing, and then thinking, well, what's going on here? And you do all the shows as an amateur, you do really well, and then you get into the big stage, you're like, man, these guys are just monsters, and just slowly chipping away and putting the work in, and it's all started to pay off now that people consider me a front runner, which is huge because it's third place, fourth place, and fifth place from the Olympia I'm going against. But yeah, I've made some really good improvements in my off season, and there's nothing. I totally believe I can win this show. I mean, normally I'd say, I hope I can place here or get the first call out, but I'm really, really in my heart know I can win this show. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
You've beaten everyone on stage, Josh.
Except for Rolly. Rolly's the only guy I haven't beaten before. Okay. Nah, he's the only guy I haven't beaten before.
He's small anyway. He is. No one to worry about Rolly. Oh, okay. And I thought you'd beaten Rolly. Yeah. Well, that's going to be a good little. That is going to be a good matchup.
Not yet.
Not yet. But that's going to be a good matchup. With,
I like this mindset. This is good.
Yeah.
Sammy, how's it feel being prepped by Chris Aceto for this comp? So did you just pick up your preparation with Chris just for this comp, or have you been prepping with him all off season?
And I use him. I've been using him for 12 months now. I used him for last prep too.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I just I don't know. I just kind of I was fishing around because obviously John's brought me up to where I am now. Big John Davey, but man, my sport doesn't feed his kids. You know what I mean? He's busy, man. He's got mouths to feed. He's got ball gym and everything going on. He's non-stop, So I just kind of had to figure. I'm like, I feel like I need someone to keep me accountable. I just want a plan to follow, and that's it. So I did some fishing around. I just wanted someone basic, and I just kind of hit it off with him pretty quick. And again, he's even more basic than John, man. He's old school. He's just like, no secret potions. There's no secret food. It's just basic. But it's good for me, man. I just get my plan, I follow it, and there's not too many words exchanged between us. It's like yes, no, looking full, looking flat, whatever. And it's all good. He's easy, man.
I think you're the easy one. Yeah, because the hard clients are the ones that ask too many questions. If you walk away and just do what you're told, I think.
Well, I do so much of this shit myself, man. I do I PT and prep other people from literally 5 a.m. till 7 o'clock every night, 5 days a week, and I work Saturday, Sundays, 5 a.m. till 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, man. So it's just I know what it's like. My favorite clients are the ones that just don't ask me the questions, just do as you're fucking told and do it. So when I know how he'd feel, he'd have that all the time. So I just try to make it easy for him. I just, send my photos every couple of days and follow the plan, and and leave questions to a minimal. Just follow the plan, trust the plan, don't stress about it, and just go ahead and do it.
I guarantee he'd have a lot more time for you too, knowing that you're not going to be an arsehole and just ask him why
yeah, exactly. Exactly. I ask questions that are relevant. It's like clients ask me questions that are relevant. Some questions you get asked, I just think, fuck, I'll never do that to anyone else. So
yeah.
when it comes to him, that's the same thing. I just follow the plan. It's easy.
Justin, you're prepping yourself obviously for this comp.
Yes, mate. That always believe that no one knows yourself better than you. So nothing changes for me. I'll continue doing my own thing. I enjoy doing it that way. Been doing it a long time. That's not to say I know everything, but I'm not about to change anything. Whilst you're still learning, I just enjoy doing my own thing, honestly. So I'll keep doing it.
You've got Amy in your corner, and obviously she preps a lot of people, and she's a posing coach, probably the most renowned posing coach in New South Wales and if not Australia at the moment. Obviously, she's a massive support network and a support base for yourself. Does she ever give you any advice in regards to your dieting or anything like that, or she just lets you do what you need to do and offers the advice when you ask for it?
Well, look, occasionally I might ask her something, but it's more, I know what I want to do and know what I should do. But it's always nice to bounce an idea off someone who shares a similar interest and, is well educated on the subject. But no, I have sought Amy's help with some touch-ups to the posing and, again, been doing it a long time. But, she's been great, a few little twists and turns and tweaks and the posing has gotten better. But no, diet-wise, Ames leaves me alone unless I ask her something. So she's fantastic, mate. Great support.
Yeah, definitely. This is obviously your first pro show with the IFBB, but not the first time you'd stand side by side next to basically pro caliber athletes, and you've done it at the NABBA Worlds where any one of those guys could easily hop on stage on a 212 or an IFBB pro stage. What do you feel the difference is between the guys that you're going to be going up against and the guys that you've had experience competing against in the past on a world stage?
Oh, look, there's no doubt that the top pros, like Josh and Rolly and these guys, they're a lot bigger, so that is definitely going to be a difference. I mean, some of the top NABBA guys at the University of the Worlds, they're big, but I don't think they quite have the same size as the IFBB guys. I guess, with NABBA, one of the things you always had to do was, get your condition right because the top guys, their conditioning was just absolutely freaky. So I think that'll be the big difference here, but no stranger to competition. But no drastic changes the way I approach it. You've got to work to your strengths and, with the short turnaround from the Nationals last year, there was never going to be any drastic changes to my physique. My conditioning is my strength. So I'm just really excited to see what my conditioning looks like against the size of some of these big boys. I'm personally very excited about that, and I think it'd be cool. Like I said, it's time for me to have some fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely awesome. And what about yourself, Josh? Do you have prepped with a few coaches in the past? Are you doing things on your own this time?
Yeah, I've had Chad for the most part, and I've used a lot of his systems going forwards. I had Matt for the last 3 weeks, Matt Jensen for I think it was 3 or 4 weeks for the Olympia prep. But since then it was, when I've had my most success, I've done it myself. When I've won the pro shows, I've been my own coaching myself basically. But I don't know, I still really love Chad and appreciate Chad as well, and Matt. But Chad knows my body better than what Matt does, just purely from a time factor. I don't know, going into this show, I kind of would like to have him again, actually, because I'm doing Ohio, then Australia, and then Brazil as well. So, those back-to-back shows, that's the tricky part, trying to peak at each of them. So, I don't know. I'll see how I go if I do decide, I might get Chad again. But other than that, I'll just do it myself.
Who's your go-to guy for advice now, though? Do you have someone that you go to? Obviously, I know that Tony's helped you out a lot in the past, but...
Yeah, Tony's definitely helped a lot mindset-wise and give me a kick in the ass. You know, if you want some brutal truth, you can always ask Tony.
Yeah, fuck.
And I remember I've only really had one compliment from Tony where he just said, "You look mental," one day in the gym leading into a contest. That's probably the only compliment I've had face-to-face with him. But, yeah, Tony's awesome, obviously. I've just been doing it myself, man, and the best thing is I've always got photos from previous stages out of the show, like 10 weeks out, 9 weeks out, 8 weeks out, and so on. And I compare the recent ones to those ones, and if I'm ahead, then it's a good sign, and I am. So that's all got to measure it by.
Yeah. And look, you're going in to win this show, and this is going to be an automatic qualifier for the Olympia if you do win. You walk away with first place this show. Are you going to do any shows leading up to the Olympia, or are you just going to knuckle down and just concentrate on that?
Still these ones. I'm still going to do Australia and Brazil. But other than that, man, I'd love to. Like, it's just hard because, especially having time off, I'm really fired up to compete again now. I mean, but once you get into those, grueling comp weeks where you dehydrate yourself, then it changes your mind of wanting to do shows frequently.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a show in England for the first time. I'd love to do that, but I think it's like the end of July from memory. It's the first one that's been in England for I don't know how long. I'd love to do that, but it's so close to, like, by the time you did that and then you'd really start prep for the Olympia, it's kind of a hard turnaround, as Justin said before.
Yeah, definitely.
They're too close together. But, I'd love to. The best thing about bodybuilding is seeing the world. That's my biggest love of it.
Yeah.
I think realistically, you never know. There's a chance you could win all three Arnolds. There is a good chance you could do that. Or, worst case, if you play second or third, you'll get enough qualification points to qualify for the Olympia at the end of the year. Is the Olympia still your ultimate goal? Is that still where... Well, I remember your mind last time we spoke probably a year or so ago, and that was probably the ultimate goal you had. Is that something that's come up again where you think, you know what, I can take this? It's a realistic goal now. You've got a tough...
Definitely, especially... Yeah, with the changes that's happened with Sean winning as well, I feel like this year's, although Sean's won it, I feel like it's wide open.
Yeah.
And with Phil not knowing if he's going to compete this year or not, or even if he does, he's been going backwards for the last couple of years. So it's really wide open, I feel, which is an exciting Olympia to be a part of. I just do hope that they make it the Mandalay Bay. That's something I'm really hoping to do.
I think it's definitely going back there 2020.
Yeah,
2020. Okay, yes, sweet. That's awesome.
But trust me,
man,
it's an unreal place to have an Olympia. It really is.
Because that was what, as weird as it sounds, took the wind out of my sails when I got to the Olympia and they put you up in New Orleans and you're like, man, what is this place?
You didn't stay. You obviously.
I did the first time for the first day, I think, and then I don't know what it was. It was because there's no kitchen. The microwaves were like every second level, so it was down a level and as far away from me. And what happened was I went down, used the microwave, it blew up. I come back upstairs, the aircon wasn't working, and it's Vegas. And I was just like, fuck this. Let's go get a hotel somewhere else to live.
You just named two vital things to get you in the best condition. No aircon means that you're going to lose all that fluid.
Yep.
Cardio to walk to the microwave. Why are you complaining? That's perfect.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Sammy, what's your overall goal? Are you looking at one day hopefully hopping on that Olympia stage, or are you setting your goals a lot more in shorter time frames and taking things step by step before you have that overall one day I want to be on that Olympia stage goal?
Man, since I started training and I won my first bodybuilding show when I was 18 back in 2009, I said I want to be the Mr. Olympia. So I don't think you can do this and go to the level, even where Josh is at now, if you don't have that going through your head. That's, I've always said you got to aim so high that people laugh at you, and people have always laughed at, my dreams and aspirations with everything, that's not just with bodybuilding. Like I remember my second day at uni, I had to get into uni and go 2 years in TAFE, right, to get my civil engineering degree. And I saw two chicks from my school and they go, oh, what the fuck are you doing here, I said, oh, I'm doing civil engineering. They laughed. They go, no, seriously, like, what are you doing here? But here I am, even though I'm not a civil engineer, but I went and did the degree and finished it, you know what I mean? Like, my point is that, I've always aimed so high that, if people laugh at me, fuck them, like, I just do my own thing. And I'll do whatever it takes to get there. I'll put everything in my heart and soul into something. If you work hard enough, it'll always pay off. You always feel content. And if you fail, you fail. But I'm not going to sit there later in life and have a regret of like, oh, maybe I could have, should have, would have. I just put everything into it and see what happens. No regrets.
I don't think anyone would laugh at you. Yeah, sorry, go on, Josh.
I was going to say I totally relate to that because in secondary school, I had my school diary and I had photos of like Flex Wheeler and Kevin and Ronnie and them in my school diary. And the girls would go, "What do you got photos of blokes in your diary for?" I was like, "Because that's what I want to look like." "Oh, that's too big." "Okay, that's what I want to look like." So from that on,
my school books, my school folder was covered in photos of Pamela Anderson. Like from different poses, front to back. It was literally laminated. Yeah, nah.
That's always been me, man. I've just always aimed so high, and that's just how it is. So yeah, of course, like if I'm competing, or what I am competing at Classic 2019, yeah, I'm competing to win, man. Like you got to have a winner's mentality in everything you do, Otherwise, you won't last. You'll just be like, every other player that wishes they were, they get jealous of you or hate on you for whatever it is you're doing. You just got to have your blinkers on and go for it, And yeah, of course, my dream one day is to be in Mr. Olympia.
That's awesome, yeah. And Justin, you obviously once you got your pro card, you had aspirations of possibly competing in the 212 class. Is that still your goal, or are you thinking now, I'm just going to try and get as big as possible and see if I can one day even match it with the bigger guys, or do you think 212 is more realistic goal for you?
To answer your first question, Reggie, no, it's not happening. To answer your second question, yes. I guess, look, my stage weight's not far off the 212, so I wouldn't certainly discard the idea of, looking at a 212 show. I think I could make that happen. But I'm just... I guess with the opportunity the pro card has presented, maybe I'll just want to do some shows and have some fun. I agree with what both the boys said, and where they're at in their careers and the way they're making their progress. That they should be aiming that high. You don't rise to low expectations. You want to aim for the stars. And they're competitions. You compete to win, man. You don't compete to make up the numbers or come last. But my goal and my focus with where I'm at is probably a little bit different. I want to continue to get up on stage, continue to be my best, continue to be the most conditioned guy up there, and just have fun doing so. I had goals as an amateur and I ticked them off. I guess as a pro, my goals are probably a little bit different, but there's still competition. You still want to stand out, and I think for me it's time to have some fun.
Justin, have you thought about the New Zealand at all the week before the Arnolds, the 212s, or has that crossed your mind?
Well, it has a few times there, Mick, but I'll say no more.
Okay.
Oh, mate, it's going to be pretty hard for you not to stand out with the conditioning that you have, mate.
I just hope
it's damn impressive.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, look,
there's potentially here where we could see all these guys at the Olympia stage at the end of the year. You just don't know. How amazing would that be for Australia?
Oh, that'd be great. Incredible. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
The best part about all that is I hope Aaron watches this, because I remember the last time we joked about Justin competing against Aaron for that pro card. He shit his pants. But no, look, Aaron is looking the best he's ever looked by far now. So it would be a great competition to see Justin versus Aaron side by side on that 212 stage. Definitely, I'd be excited to watch that. No, that'd be good.
I think we'd be tempted. We would go over to New Zealand when we Reg.
I've never been in New Zealand, and I don't know if I can say I've got the cash to fork out to go there. But you know what? It's only a swim away. I might hop in the water and see how quickly we can get there. Why not?
Mate, that bloke doesn't need enemies with mates like you.
No, we got Aaron on next week. We love Aaron.
Actually, Sam sees Aaron on a daily basis pretty much. So, I mean, I saw him last Sunday, and in person, like you said, it's the best Aaron I've ever seen. The guy's massive. I think he's 99 kilos at the moment. But, I mean, you see him daily.
Yeah, Az is looking good, man. Like, he's...
Az looking good, yeah.
He's how can I say? He's just a ball of muscle. He's just a little nugget walking around, but he's and he's in condition too. Like best I've seen him. I feel like he's not fucking around the gym as much as well. He's training, he's focused, he's kind of getting that pro mentality that he needs, which I've always said to him that he's lacked. Getting a bit too distracted with other things. But I feel like he's steering away from people that are pointing him in the wrong direction, and he's starting now to focus on his goals, and now you look at him, it's paying off. It just goes to show, when your mindset's in check, you can have all the genetics in the world and whatever, but when your mindset is in check, that's when you really start to elevate. And he's showing that.
Aaron has a shitload of potential.
Mindset and attitude is everything. That if that's not, like you said, Sam, if that's not in the right spot, it just doesn't happen. That's basically, that dictates everything.
Yeah. That's true.
And that's the one thing all you three guys have got as well. He's obviously got the right mindset. He's put in the hard work, and all you three, and especially Josh, and you've been in the top pro ranks for a couple of years now. There's no shortcuts. Everyone thinks there's some easy shortcut to get there, but there's not. And I think all you three guys, put in that hard work.
Yeah, I'm gonna put Josh on the spot quickly here, because he's probably the most seasoned pro we have. Well, not probably, you are the most seasoned pro. What kind of tactics can you use, and what kind of advice can you give to people to eliminate those distractions when concentrating? And it doesn't even have to necessarily be a bodybuilding competition, but something in life that they're working so hard towards, where there can be so many outside factors that can interrupt your progress. So what kind of tactics do you use to avoid those obstacles and just basically steer clear of those distractions?
It's incredibly challenging, because you're really putting your goals over people. That's the hardest part about what we all do, I believe, is, if you're really focused on that goal, you sacrifice everything to get there. And unfortunately with that, it's time, it's energy. So for the most part, it's either work, family, friends, partner, all those people kind of have to, someone will take a close step. So either, you can't keep everyone close, is what I'm trying to say. Work will either suffer, or friends will suffer, or your partner will suffer. It's kind of, or family. You can't have everyone close to you as well as you working towards that goal, because there's just not enough time in the day, especially when you're doing multiple cardio sessions and weight training sessions a day. I mean, some people don't do it that way, but that's how I've always done it. I know Justin does it as well. So that's, for me, the biggest bit of advice I can give is you've sort of got your 4 or 5 people in your life who are always going to be there. So make sure you protect them, because people are going to come and go into your life all the time. As long as you can keep those ones close and protect them, and invest in those relationships, it's going to be fine. Business sometimes takes a big hit. So that's another thing. It's setting your non-negotiable behaviors. And these are things that Craig Harper's taught me. Non-negotiable behaviors, controlling your controllables. So all the things that you're in control of on a daily basis, that's what you want to do, because putting something in your mouth is completely in your control. And that's where people sometimes think that, the diet's too hard and I'm just uncontrolled, can't control it. And then, the energy factor's the hardest thing, because it's easy being motivated and excited when you're full of energy. But when you're doing multiple sessions a day and on limited calories, that energy soon goes. So you have to be able to have that commitment that you set at the start of the journey, at the start of the prep, or the start of the goal, whatever it is. You hold that reason why you're doing it close to your heart, because as soon as it gets hard and challenging and tiring, it's when most people give up. And that's what I get coaching people. They look around the gym and they might be like, that person looks like they'd be a much better competitor than what I am in this division. Why aren't they doing it? And it's, for the most part, they don't have the heart to do it.
Or the mindset,
so they're the ones that, the heart or the mindset, they're the ones that talk about it, never do it, because it's too hard.
Yeah.
It's really damn hard.
And patience, I think, is a big thing to do. Having patience and knowing
Absolutely.
that...
It's taken me 22 years of training, every year, training, sacrifice, shoveling food in. I mean, you can't speed that up in 12 months, no matter what you eat or what you take or who you have as a coach. It's something that takes time. Bodybuilding just takes time. Putting on muscle just takes time.
But even patience in other people.
You've got the patience.
Yeah, patience in other people and making sure that you understand that they don't necessarily understand your drive behind it all. So the reasons why you do things and the way you act sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people just crack it at people. I know I've done it in the past, and it's taken me a few comps to kind of develop that maturity to say, look, I'm doing this for me and no one's making me do it?
Yeah, well, I think that's part of, maturing as well as a person. It's not just as comp rep, because I think a lot of people actually don't realize this, but you take your anger out on people that you know are going to forgive you, which is completely stupid, because they're the ones that you should be loving the most. So when you realize that it's your choice and what you're doing is all up to you, you stop taking that anger out on people. And yeah, the patience factor as well. Like, I mean, it goes both ways. I mean, we do this for a job for the most part as well. Like, it's you've got your side job, but this is really the passion that you're sacrificing your whole life revolving around. So, I mean, for people to come in and try and take you away from that, it's like I wouldn't go into their day job and pull them out of it. So they kind of have to understand both ways as well. And I think that's why getting back to those 4 or 5 close people in your life, they'll always understand. And it's the people that sort of don't understand the sport, who are recently new in your life, that kind of don't get it.
It's really good advice, man. That's really good advice. You touched on the training. So let's start this round table type discussion. Let's talk about your training. We'll start with you, Sam. I know Josh has talked about doing up to 2 weight sessions and 2 cardio sessions a day. Has your training changed? Have you pulled back from your PT to fit in, say, an extra weight session or an extra cardio session? Tell us about it. Tell us about your training and what your workload is.
No, I mean, like, my cardio is pretty minimal, actually. I was told to stop doing cardio for 3 weeks. Recently, I just kind of came back on the last kind of week and a half. So I can't really complain too much on cardio. In my younger years, I used to have to do cardio all the time, but as of late, like, yeah, the most I got up to last prep was about 40 minutes, and now I'm on 40 minutes again. Just that's pretty well cruisy for me. And
is that low intensity cardio? Is it just on a treadmill?
Yeah, just low intensity. I've always liked to work, but it's been pretty hard for me. It's actually more hard for me mentally, not doing cardio or not doing as much cardio. So I started throwing in some HIIT classes, like some bike classes and shit, and I was told to do that told to stop doing that pretty quick because I was dropping pretty fast. And, I just like to work. So what I did instead was just put my work ethic into my training, and just and save my energy for that. So I'm really putting that hard and lifting heavy, lifting smart. But I've always loved the old school training, heavy training. I'm not as strong as Josh, but I try and lift like Josh. But I've always grown up watching the Ronnie Coleman videos and all that kind of shit. Just and monkey see, monkey do type thing. So just lift hard, lift heavy, nothing in the gym. And that's what I came and trained for back when I was a teenager, was to come in and train and love the training. So I always just try and keep that. Just what keeps me sane as I come to the show.
Do you maintain that heavy training the whole way through your prep, or do you start to pull back a little bit towards the end?
I pull back because obviously I'll need to pull back. But as far as the intensity and the training goes, it's 110% always. I'm always lifting and trying to beat my previous scores. I have my logbook that I still have, and I'm just trying to beat my numbers and keep up with them the whole way through. Yeah, I mean, it was hard last prep because I was carrying a hamstring tear, which was pretty bad. The bruising only went down like literally the week before the guest pose, so I couldn't train how I was training. I had to kind of work around that with the injuries. But, we're all carrying injuries, there's no point whinging and moaning about it. I find if you talk about it too much, you're going to imagine it's there. So it's like I try to push through it, just work around it, and same thing now. My body's feeling good, and I'm training heavy and hard, and I'm going to keep it that way.
What about you, Justin? Are you already into your cardio sessions? I know you sometimes get up to 3 cardio sessions a day. I don't know how early on you bring in that regime, but what's your training like now? Give people a brief explanation of how many sessions you're doing a day, weights, cardio.
Look, it's only kind of gone back to normal this week after everything that's happened. So, when I was up spending time with Dad, there was plenty of times that I actually wasn't training and sticking to the diet, getting out doing some morning fasted cardio, but that's about all I was getting in. But I'd try and sneak in the sessions where I could. But now that I'm back and things have a bit more normality about it, the cardio twice a day and back to training either once or twice a day. I like to do it that way. In a perfect prep, I actually like to throw in more work early on in the first half, so the back half's just a cruise. Get yourself in shape nice and early, and you remove a lot of stress that way. Then it's you can continue to, well, I find anyway, train nice and hard, and all the other cardio outputs are kept to a minimum. I've never worked the other way around, where you start minimally and then slowly sort of build it up. I've got no dramas going hard from the start. To me, it just makes sense.
Joshua, what about yourself?
Yeah, I'm always like a double cardio, double weights kind of guy, and at the moment I'm doing 3 cardio sessions. Started it this week, 8 weeks out. So I've been doing that the last couple of days. I've got another one to do tonight. And my weight training, and plus posing, cooking, because muscle mills don't give me all my food, so I still cook every day as well. So, man, I don't know how you do it, man, with work and stuff as well. And I'm struggling to find time just fitting on getting training and posing and feeling wrecked and trying to get a nap in sometimes every third day or so.
See, Josh, I've been on holidays. I've got 6 weeks holidays being a teacher, so I've been trying to do. This is the first time I've ever done my 2 weight sessions a day, and my body's sore. I had to get massaged tonight. What are you doing for rehab? Because you must be sore. Your joints must be getting sore. And what's your split like?
Treatments.
Yeah, what's your split like?
I normally get two treatments a week. When I was doing, it's kind of hard, man. It changes all the time. Like, I listen to my body. It's gone from doing 2 days on, 1 day off, and on those 2 days I'll train twice in those days, to now training every day. And that's how I kind of do it. I kind of lead into a show, and I try and keep my calories quite similar, and then I'll just increase energy expenditure. So I'll increase that leading into the show, more cardio, more weight training. Sort of, I don't really like doing drop sets or supersets or giant sets. I don't believe in them at all for hypertrophy. I do believe they have a small ability of, capillarization and, recovery at the end of your workout. But to do them at the start of your workout, I've always found that it's been counterintuitive to my progressive overload system. So I leave them towards the end of my workout, which I do more of leading into the contest at the end of my workout, of course. So sometimes in my off season, I don't do any of that kind of training at all. It's just all progressive overload.
And the only reason why you incorporate drop sets or anything is just to increase energy expenditure, basically.
Yeah, that's it. Energy expenditure, and then also, some help with recovery. But I normally get two treatments a week that last for about 2 hours each time. But that in itself as well, I found starts to become more detrimental to me. Like, I feel like if I'm not getting the treatments as hard and as much, because I'll get those treatments and I'll be smashed the next day from it, because I feel like my body's just trying to recover even more. Yeah, it's kind of weird, man. Like, I feel like if I can manage 80% to 90% of my target lifts for that rep range leading into the contest, I'm at a win. I'm still going to keep most of that muscle mass. But I'm not trying to go 100% as I do in the off season and in season, because it's just too high a risk of injury. Like, some lifts I'll get very similar to, and then others I just don't even, there's just no point mentally. Otherwise, it's physically, it's just too risky.
Yeah. I briefly want to touch on diets, and it's more just for educational purposes for people out there who hear so much bullshit, I think, on social media about, and I talk about the F50 macros, but thinking that they can eat certain foods. I just want to give people out there a realistic view on exactly the types of foods you're eating. So we'll start with Sam. Literally, we don't have to go meal by meal, but what are the types of foods on your diet? And are you doing things like incorporating cheat meals, refeed days, anything like that?
Yeah, man, like, I think everyone knows the Cedo, like, he's pretty colourful with his food, like, at times. Everyone knows him as the Muffin Man. Like, I don't get any muffins, but, like, it's,
You get cookies?
Yeah, like, he tells me to do all that, but I try and negotiate against, same thing, like, that's the only kind of thing I kind of negotiating with is, like, is that, when it comes to, if he tells me to have a refeed and he tells me to have, like, burgers or something, like, I did it once, I did it twice this prep, and the same thing as last prep, I don't know, man, I don't like doing it, like, it's not, it probably, I guess he has his systems and that, but I just get better, and I feel like I get better when if I refeed, it's better for me mentally, like, at the end of the day, like, I like the challenge of this sport, I like the hard yakky, I like basic, and I like basic food anyway, if it's cooked right, I love it, you know. So, you know, I like my fish and rice, you know, like my steak and salmon. Like I have a wide variety of, you know, proteins, but everything's, you know, lean meat and just a complex carbohydrate. I'm not, I don't really have a lot of fats in my diet. I just kind of keep it, you know, pretty much just around rice and potato. And yeah, like he still tells me to have, you know, before I train, like some fast GI carbohydrates, things like that, which, you know, it's cool. But, you know, again, it's pretty well basic, man. Like there's no hidden secret. It's just your basic amount of proteins and carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates. You know.
Does Cicino give you a specific meal plan and say this is what I want you to eat with quantities for each individual food, so chicken, whatever, or does he give you a list of macros of what he wants you to meet on a day and basically lets you choose?
He writes out. Yeah, he just writes out. 300 fish, and like. You'll say like 90 grams of carbs from rice or something like that.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, basic, fucking basic. Like to the point that, you know, my personal assistant, she actually...
My personal assistant, listen to this guy. Fucking hell.
I'm just a PT, man. I've got other businesses on the side too.
Oh, life of
so, yeah, she gets, what I'm saying is she gets all my socials, so she gets all my messages, iMessages, emails, all that kind of shit, right? And she thinks she's like, why do you use this coach? He's the shittest coach. Like the plans that you send are so detailed. He just sends you 300 fish, 50 grams carbs, rice. Like, what does that even mean? He's the shittest coach ever. I'm like, fucking just shut up. Like, that's exactly basic fucking shit, right? I don't want to talk to him. I don't know how his day is. He doesn't want to know how my day is. You know, just fucking follow the plan, basic food. That's it. You know.
Yeah, a lot of people would mix basicness with being lazy, but realistically, basic is all you need, and they're the only tools you need. If you overcomplicate things, that's when things can get really, really hard, in my opinion. Giving people too many options. Yeah.
I'm strapped for time, man. You know, like, and you know, I guess if a fish macros could work to a certain extent, and you know, people get creative with their food, but man, I can't be fucked, dude. Like, I work 14 hours a day every single day. You know, I got other shit going on, not just PTing. Like I got other businesses that I'm trying to manage as well. Like the last thing I want to do is get a fucking recipe in front of me to fucking make this meal, make that meal, to make it, you know, it's just, you know, cook your fish, cook your rice, cook your chicken, fucking follow the plan. That's it. Like people are trying to reinvent the wheel, you know, like if you want to do it, you can go do it. You know, everyone has their own things. I'm not a hater on that either, but for me personally, I'm struck for time as it is, you know, so yeah, stick to the basics. It worked for the best bodybuilders that ever walked the planet. Fucking, as I said, monkey see, monkey do. I'll do the same thing.
And I didn't want it to turn into like if it fits in macros bashing type discussion. Like I know that it works and it works for certain people. And it's if you have, what did you say?
Yeah, it's just an example. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if I brought up the topic because I'm made for that, but it's just I love knowing that people just still stick to basics and good, clean, wholesome food. I think it's just such an important thing in my opinion, and a lot of people are trying to deter away from that, and they don't realise why they're not getting into the condition. Like, let's talk to Justin. What are the type of foods you're consuming each day?
Well, look, Sam touched on a lot of it. Mate, you've got to keep it simple, and keeping it simple means it's very methodical. You know, it's structured. You know, I've got no problems eating the same stuff all the time, so I actually enjoy it. So, you know, carb sources are very basic. You know, my vegetable sources are very basic. You've got, I guess, a little bit more variety with your protein, but you know, I'm older than these two blokes. I've eaten that much fucking chicken over the years. I don't eat chicken anymore. I actually love my turkey, mate. So my staple with my protein sources is turkey. I love that. Steak, a bit of fish, and then if all those things fall through, I'll have to go with some chicken. But yeah, you just got to keep it simple. That's how it works. And my templates, my preps never change. You know, I eat 5 solid meals a day. I'll start the prep, 3 of them with carbs, 2 of them with greens. And when I need to change throughout, I'll slowly start pulling the carbs. And mate, it looks like that for every prep, and it just fucking works for me. So, you know, I don't change it. Honestly, the amount of young blokes you talk to that they start talking about stuff that I've never heard of, and you know the common response is, "Fuck, mate, I've never heard of it. You don't need it." The food, It is basic. It is simple. There aren't any secret foods. It's the same stuff that everyone's eating. You just have to be consistent with it.
Josh,
So this is great, Gretch, because we've got three fantastic bodybuilders here to eat, like talking now, and you've got so many other guys out there that haven't done anything, that are trying to reinvent the wheel, like we've just said. And there is no way to do it. It's the basic, and these guys are just proven that.
That's why I haven't asked you what you've eaten today. Because we are Ben and Jerry's ain't on that diet.
My preps too. It was very basic and simple, as Sam's done with John Davey. You've done it with John Davey. It was basic.
I know bullshit. Eat clean every day, and if I go off track, I feel like shit. I have one cheat meal a week.
Hey, I'm well retired now, so I can eat what I want. I want.
Josh, I won't ask exactly the same question for you, but let's talk more calories. I know in the past you used to start off your preps on a dramatic amount of calories, and instead of slowly reducing, you would pretty much cut them in half after a time period.
Yeah.
Is that the same protocol you're following now, or is it completely different again?
No, it's completely different. It's more like just KFC and donuts and whatever I can get in.
Yeah, that explains a bit.
Yeah.
It's just laziness all over.
I'm actually different. I might be different than these two blokes because I'm not someone that I don't love the diet. Like I've competed when I was like, I know Justin's probably done more shows than me. I started competing like 16 years ago, and it was like, yeah, I've just had, like he says, you get so over chicken. So I've gone from looking at, but there's no way around it. Like these guys both mentioned, there's no way, if you want to get shredded, there's no way around the basics and either having chicken or turkey or like eye fillet or porterhouse or rump or whatever it is. Like it's got to be strict. It's got to be clean. You can't have all these extra things on it, and you can't have massive cheat meals every couple of days. It just doesn't work unless you're someone like Dexter Jackson with your genetics. It's like rarely will you find people like that. So, and that's what I've always had to do cardio in the past. Like I've always broken my diet and haven't been strict to it. I've gone crazy good, and then I've smashed it and smashed food for a day, and then the next day, like, what to do that for? And then more cardio and trying out cardio and out train the bad diet, which was, I kind of was able to get on top of it, but then I don't maximize my potential. So that's why now I'm really strict, and I'm like, well, if I'm doing this now, then what will 3 cardio sessions do? I've always done 2. Let's do 3. And that's what I mean. It'll be a huge improvement, or I'll flatten out too much and it'll just be a big disappointment. But I don't think that's going to happen. I feel like it's all going to come together. Just keep working my ass off and doing the hard yards. But I mean, there's things you can, in your diet, it's in the early days, like in sort of 16 weeks out, you might be able to have different foods, like more eggs or lean bacon or something for your protein sources. But they're all gateways in my eyes. Sooner or later than
gateway drugs,
bread and pasta. They're all gateway drugs, mate. Trust me.
I actually explained this to a client the other day, and he was basically looking at social media and a lot of people adding things to foods, and he's only 7 weeks out, and that's what I explained to him. I said, at your mindset right now, 7 weeks out, you shouldn't be thinking about how to make food taste better. You should be thinking, how am I going to make this food taste even worse? And how am I going to make myself feel even more shit with the more work that I have to do to... And I think a lot of people are looking at how to make things easier instead of how to make things harder.
Mate, I totally agree. And I've fallen into that trap because and that's what I mean, having the year off's done me a world of good, because normally I'd just be so overdoing the diet because I'm like, I'm just going to know I'm going to be prepping again in a couple months. How do I get some kind of enjoyment out of this? But the enjoyment is actually competing on stage, being your best and doing your best. That's really what it comes down to. And there's no way around it. Either you want it or you don't. And if you don't want it hard enough, you'll find an excuse to cheat on the diet and slip up and try and make things tasty. And like I said before, it's a gateway. It's purely is because once you go off the diet a little bit, you realize, well, if I went off that a little bit, then I might as well just go off completely. That's what happened to me in the past. That's
right, yeah. I don't want to keep you boys too long. I've got a question I'm going to ask all of you guys. I'll wait for Justin to get back. Before Justin gets back, I just want to quickly ask you, Justin. Josh. That posing routine where you came out and you wore that Arnold mask, what the fuck were you thinking?
It was awesome.
Tell us a little bit about it. Does anyone know about that? Was anyone else there?
I did it as an INBA competitor, and I got the best posing routine.
Oh, did you really? Because you were literally...
I did,
we competed at the same day. I don't know if you remember, but you were the posing routine
remember.
After
Absolutely.
me. Yeah. You wore that
I
mask.
almost got kicked out for that as well.
I told you beforehand.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I said you can't wear that. And you're like, I'm wearing it.
Exactly, I'm wearing it. Too bad.
You're a cracker.
Can I just touch on?
Thanks, mate.
Can I just touch on what we were saying before? Trick for me with following the plan is to keep busy. That's why I work so much doing what I'm doing. I find the people that are psyching themselves out, not just with the diet, I'm talking in general. They're too busy looking on Instagram, looking at other people, worrying about what they're doing and this and this and this, and looking up fucking food porn and all this kind of stuff. Like, when you stay busy, like, I'm busy all the time. You don't have time to think about that shit because you got other shit you got to do. So the outlet for me is my bodybuilding. Like, I get to train at the end of the day, not that I have to fucking train, or I have to go do cardio. For me, they're my things. Like, even when I'm, prepping my meals, or whatever it is, that's my time that no one else can take from me. That's my time, my own goals, and I give a lot of time to everyone else, and with everything else I've got going on that I'm juggling, that when I get home and I have to prep my meals or when I have to do my cardio, I have to train, that's my own time. I've got to use social media for my business and stuff, but I don't sit there fucking scrolling, going through what other people are doing, and I've done that in the past, and that's when, they've been my hardest preps, when really at the time they should have been my easiest preps because I wasn't doing too much. I was just working security or something, but it's because I had nothing else to do. So you start pondering and worrying about other things, like, oh, I can't wait to have this food, or you're talking to this person about this and this. When your mindset's in the right direction and you're busy kicking ass and getting goals, you don't have time to think about that, and everything's in a balance. If you're kicking ass in one area of life, when it comes to your bodybuilding, well, yeah, you're going to go in there and fucking kick goals there as well.
Yeah, I think you tapped it.
Well said, man.
Yeah, you tapped on the two most contributing factors there, wasting time on social media, and that is it's time consuming, and B, it's going to fuck with your mindset. Like, it's going to it's going to distract you from your goal and what you need to do, and before you know it, you've been sitting on social media for 2 hours and you've missed a cardio session. Or
it's when you walk to the gym, someone has an opinion, it's like, oh yeah, man, I'm doing this, you should be doing that, or whatever it is. Like, you're too consumed and you're too worried about what other people are doing and what everything else is going on in life. When, as I said, put your fucking blinkers on, stay in your lane, and worry about you. Worry about your other goals that you have to complete outside of the gym, because, bodybuilding is everything. Life goes on, and unfortunately, we're not at the top. Well, I'm definitely not at the top, so I've got these other things I've got to fulfill, and yeah, that's what I've got to keep my mind set on as well, So all of a sudden I'm sitting now and, it's 9 weeks out from my second pro show, and it's been a breeze because I'm not thinking about it. Right now, us talking about it is the most depth I've fucking thought about it. When people say to me, oh, are you excited to do the show? Like, I saw the lineup and that kind of hit me, but like, even when Tony called me Christmas Eve, I was like, fuck, that's pretty cool. But it still never really hits me like my first pro show until I actually get to Melbourne and actually slow down. I'm like, all right, shit, there's rolling in the gym. Fuck, like, same thing, like I'm too busy to be stressing about all the other bullshit people worry about.
I'm going to quickly.
That's smart, man.
Yeah, it is definitely, and it's that's what I like about Sam, because I think with you guys, with Josh and Justin, I think it's always been who you are. But with Sam, I think you just ooze professionalism the second you got that pro card, and you were that way inclined during your amateur career also. But the way you conducted yourself when you won your pro card, your guest posing. Everything you do as a pro,
great,
you just ooze professionalism, and I think that's why so many people look up to you and respect you as an athlete. So I just wanted to really make mention to that. I'm going to go around and ask a quick question, and it's only a really short answer because I know you all have cardio to do. Sam, who are you most looking forward to competing against on stage?
Josh and Justin, 100%. That's my, I'm not saying that because they're here. Like, Kevin Levrone is one of my favourite all-time bodybuilders and Flex Wheeler, it's obvious I copy their poses and all that kind of shit, but like, I've seen him as a bodybuilder and stuff, like I've looked up to him, but I'm in my country and I look at, these are the guys I've looked up to since I was competing back in 2009, like it's just, I see Rolly, I see these guys and that kind of stuff, which is cool, like they're still the top dogs, but I just, there's just something there that I just didn't think that was ever going to happen for me, especially with Justin too, and these guys now, like they're the top tiers in the sport in my eyes here in Australia, and that's me. I get to verse them. Like I'm still relatively young at 27. I never thought that'd be happening. So yeah.
I'm going to be so jealous at how much fun, not just on stage, but how much fun you guys are going to be having backstage, pumping up together. Because I know that you're going to just have your little click. Justin, what about you? Who are you most likely looking forward to? Most looking forward to competing against on stage? And you don't have to say, look, I've got Rolly on the other line, so you're like, we can just put him on, and because he's here, we can say Rolly. Who is it that you're most looking forward to competing against?
Oh, look, mate, I'm going to dack Rolly, so it puts him off his game and Josh beats him.
Rolly's the type of guy you don't want to fuck with. I get that impression anyway. So,
look, without a doubt, pretty excited about standing on stage with these two blokes. That'll be cool. I'll be the newest pro, but the oldest one up there, so it would have been kind of cool to have Dexter there, so there's someone there older than me. But look, I saw the lineup of the guys that are going to be competing, and I'm just excited to be there. It's I think the highlight will be up there with Josh and Sam. But mate, I'm just going to have some fun, and if I put my condition up there, I'm just going to be excited. So I want to see what that looks like against the rest of the field. And as I said, it's kind of cool for me to do a show with no pressure or expectation. So, mate, I'm now that I've got a few things in order on a personal level, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good.
Josh, same question.
Mine's going to be against William Bonac.
Yeah.
See it. No, I'm changing it. It's not competing against. It's not competing against. It's competing with these two blokes. So, I mean, it is a competition, obviously, and you do your best and you try and bring your best, but sort of boxing match or anything like that, I mean, the judges are going to make the decision. So I always consider competing against, competing with, and you got to bring your absolute best at this level. And I'm sure we're going to do our best. And that's what I love about these guys. They've great character as well. They're great representatives. And I'm really thankful that you two legends are going to be on the same stage. It's going to be an amazing event.
And
Australia's going to go crazy.
Oh, you're talking about this too? Sorry.
Backstage,
Doing
interviews, yeah.
All right, listen.
It's going to be great, guys. Thanks.
When I was backstage last year, it was pretty cool seeing them all come out, but it was my first pro show. I was excited, I wasn't actually really saying much. I kind of forgot to pump up. I was more just kind of really trying to accept the moment, because when I won my pro card, I was too busy about what to do next. I didn't really accept the win. I was too focused on what was next. So I made sure that 2018 Arnold, I was there and I was just looking around. I'm like, all right, fuck, these dudes were in the magazines that, that I had at home, when I was a teen, I'm with these guys now. But I guess, long story short, I put a post out the other night when I saw Steve Auden for the first time at the NABBA show, and Jake as well. But, Justin was still the top dog in NABBA. Everyone knew that. And even when I switched to the IFBB and started climbing up my ranks to the IFBB, Josh has always been the top dog in the IFBB. So for me, I'm versing the two top dogs currently in Australia, and, especially Justin. I never thought Justin would ever switch over, and here he is,
Neither did I, big fella.
So,
praise the Lord. We're so happy you did too.
So for me, that's why it's so cool, because it's a big tick off my bucket list in bodybuilding. It's more exciting for me to verse these two guys than what it is the other guys I get to verse. So yeah.
I've got one last question, but so we've got. As you mentioned before, Josh, Sam, you said pretty much the same thing. You go into this show, you can't go into this show without going in with a winning mentality. You're going in to win this show. You're not going into place. You're not going in for the experience or to tick a box off the list. You have to go in with the mentality that you're going to win this show to come in looking your best. Sam, what is it that's going to make you win this show?
We always play to our strengths and my shape.
Yep, your shape. And you do have a very pleasing shape. Can I just say quickly that comparison that you did with that front double bicep, definitely go the tilt. That more classical tilt for that front double bicep pose. You look your waist looks so much smaller in that. You look phenomenal.
Cito actually mentioned that. He actually hit me up about that. He never gives me compliments, but he said He said use that rodent pose, but I don't know who he is. Sounds like some fanboy or something.
Definitely use a rodent pose. Definitely use a rodent pose. Justin, I can pretty much guess what your answer is going to be. But if Justin wins this show, what's going to get him across the line to win it?
Well, I'm not going to win this show, Gretchy, but I'm hoping that my condition make a couple of these big boys look a bit soft. But if Josh doesn't win the show, that you'll never hear the end of it from me. No pressure, big fella.
That's right.
Josh, you are, and we're all realists. You are the favourite to win this. How are you going to beat Rolly? How are you going to beat Bonac? I'm picking my top three. How are you going to beat William, and how are you going to beat Bonac?
The beard.
Oh,
Standard.
fucking great answer. That's all I want. We can wrap up right now. Now, how are you going to beat him?
I mean, Rolly is a mountain of muscle, right? But I've got the height and the mass in terms of kilos on him. As long as I can bring the condition to display it all and make that look larger than those muscles look larger than life with the condition, then it's going to be my show to win, I believe. And that's why I'm doing the 3 cardio sessions and suffering on the diet already. And normally I wouldn't do this stuff till 3 weeks out or something, or 4 weeks out, but I've pulled these things in early because I've had the whole year off to relax and get my mind right. So there's no need to be relaxing at any point here. I mean, one thing I want to say before we leave, like Sam, I really admire what you're doing with your work as well. Justin, you're a firefighter, yeah. So you've been, doing a lot of work as well as training. I mean, my advice out there, people who are listening, don't ever stop working for bodybuilding until you start winning big pro shows. And because I was always doing 2 jobs before I won. And when I got 3rd at the Arnold and won a couple pro shows, that's when I thought, well, if the top guys are taking it off and not working, then that's what's going to help me, improve and excel. But I'm still always working. I've got other things on the go and businesses as well. So you just have to be clever with your time, people out there. The advice I'm giving you, it's, like I said earlier, sacrifice what you need to. But yeah, don't do anything stupid just to chase a pro card at the start. Especially
at the start of your career. Look at Sam, for instance. You know what I mean? He finished and got his civil engineering degree. And made sure that he's always got that as a backup. You know what I mean? Well, me, I'll
say that actually. Backups, right?
Yeah.
I'll never ever go back to that. I'll never ever go back to that. When I fell sick in 2017, I was in hospital and I was trying to fight it, and I was in our hospital trying to make my first pro show. That was when I really had time to slow down, and I had a lot of time to think. And when you hear, the doctor come out saying, you got to stop, because I was being discharged from hospital at 5 a.m, going straight back to the gym to do cardio. Like, I'd leave the hospital and go straight to the gym. So I'm I'm not giving up, And then I get readmitted back to hospital, So I was doing dumb shit like that, but I just didn't want to, fucking do or die, got to finish the race, whatever. But you have a lot of time to think, and when you get told those things and you realize how quickly it can all be taken away from you, you think, like, fuck the safety. Like, I just think, I'm only going to do the things that I love doing, So that's not saying, you throw everything away for bodybuilding, but whatever comes my way that is in my interest, that's only what I'll do, But just because I completed a degree, and I could go back and make money from it, doesn't make you happy. And if you're not happy with what you're doing, you will never make money doing what you're doing. You'll just be, there's plenty, people say, oh, civil engineers have a lot of money. Well, from what I saw, a lot of them don't, because they're fucking miserable, and that's not just blaming them. I'm talking, how many people do you know that are fucking miserable in their jobs, and they're stuck in a rut and they can't get out of it.
Yeah.
So the way I see it, do something you love doing, and you'll always, if you have a passion for something, you'll always seek success out of it. And since I've done that, that's why I'm succeeding within myself, my own personal goals in the business world too. I feel like I'm kicking a lot of goals because I'm sticking to only doing the things that I love doing.
And it doesn't ever feel like you're at work doing what you're doing.
That's what I mean, bro. I was doing just 8 hours of fucking experience placement, trying to fucking walk out the door an hour early every day. Where I was just telling you before, I'm in the middle of prep, working 7 days a week, So it's not really work if you love doing what you're doing,
Yeah, but it is always good to have that stability there to fall back on?
Obviously, it's more so the fact, like, when you got a degree behind you or something like that, like, I've gone to people with business proposals and things like that, or, I've had meetings, but, they come to you and they like the way you work, or they look at your social media, whatever it is, and, I can honestly say I reckon all of my business partners in the businesses that I got only really started taking me seriously when they find out that, I'm not just some fucking dumb cunt bodybuilder. I've actually got something.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So on that front, yes, like, that's what I don't regret about it, because it makes people take you seriously on that side. But would I ever go back to it as a backup? No, fuck no. I'll always do what I love doing.
Yeah, it's good to hear. Gally, do you have any questions before we wrap up?
No, we've done well, but I just, Josh, I've actually got you and Brandon Curry fighting for first.
Oh, wow. Yeah, mate.
I do have you, but yeah, I've actually got Brandon as my place in second, so I think it's going to be a good battle.
Now I've got Justin and Sam, but yeah, just to make.
How do you guys feel the height plays into it when you do a contest? That's what I've found. Plays into some of the lineups, if they're a tall lineup versus a shorter lineup as well. I mean, that interferes with things a little bit, and I've got quite a mix of both with Rowley and Winkler, and also Cedric and Steve Kluko and Brendan. Like, everyone, there's like 3 taller guys and 3 shorter guys.
I think the top 4 is certain that it's you, Brandon, Rowley, and William, unless one of those guys really marks up, which I don't think they will. I just don't think. I think Cedric may have just. I don't know. Cedric's very on and off, and I just don't see him pulling it together. But this one, I think Steve's potential is awesome as well. He's got a great physique, but I just don't think he's at the caliber of you four yet. There's no way.
Yeah, I just want to say I'll never speak to Justin or Sam again if they don't beat Quincy Winkler. You have to annihilate that motherfucker. Quincy Winkler, he's only here. He's got a token invite. Your brother's coming. Come along with him. He'll carry his bags on stage. Nah, I don't know. I don't even know how he's looking these days. Has anyone seen how Quincy Winkler's looking these days?
No, I don't think I've ever seen a photo of him.
Nah, I don't know.
And for anyone listening, that's Rolly's brother.
Yeah. Good luck to him. He's a 212 competitor, so it'll be good to see him against the Open guys. Boys, is there anything that you want to say to each other? Because this is probably the last time you're all going to see each other in a group environment before the day of the show, or before meeting up at Doherty's leading up to the show. Anything you want to say to each other?
No, I don't think so. It's good to chat, fellas. I'm looking forward to Melbourne and seeing both of you blokes there. So, wishing you all the very best at the back end of your preps. But listening to you and what I know of you blokes, you won't leave any stones unturned. And you're going to get the job done. I'm excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's on.
It's on, like Donkey Kong. That's what I want to hear.
I'm really looking forward to it. Like, the crowd, I feel like the crowd's going to go crazy for all of us, and we're going to put on a great show for everyone. And I also, as well, congratulations to Tony for being the MC at Arnold Columbus. That's a massive honour too. That's humongous. So that's going to be really cool. It's going to be a great event, and guys, message me. You guys are going to bring everything you need anyway. But if I can make it any easier, because Melbourne's obviously my home city, let me know. But it's going to be cool.
Yeah, because I'm going to need someone to pick me up from the airport, and I'm going to need my meals cooked when I get there. So I'll make sure.
I would though, mate.
Yeah,
I would.
You actually
let's lock these 3 guys in, because we'll be doing interviewing on Wednesday or Thursday at Doherty's Gym, won't we?
Either Wednesday or Thursday, but we're going to be doing them earlier on. So we're going to get all the pros there. We're going to have a nice little setup with a couch and that, and yeah, it's going to be fun. But look, boys, I just want to reiterate what I mentioned on that post that I put up on Muscle Asylum the other day, that it's a privilege to have 3 of the most professional bodybuilders and ambassadors for the sport on stage all next to each other, and it's going to be really, really fun. I'm literally going to wear 3 pairs of undies on the day so I can throw one out to each of you on stage, because I don't want any of you missing out. Unlucky for the person who walks out last, because they'll be the dirtiest pair. But look,
don't throw me the white ones.
The white ones, yeah, they'll be the white ones. The granny ones. No, look, we're all excited for you, and Australia's got you back 100%. And look, not a bad word has ever been said about any of you guys, not that I've heard anyway. And that speaks a lot about the characters that you are, and the ambassadors you are for the sport. So thanks for everything, and we're all pumped for you, and good luck for the remainder of your prep. we know you guys are going to kill it and have the time of your lives up there.
And thanks, Screech and Gally, on behalf of everyone in Australia. You guys are always pumping out the good content, and I appreciate it. I listen to it all the time. Your podcast keeps me motivated when I'm doing my thing. You guys talk a lot of shit at the start of your episodes, though, but apart from that, it's pretty good.
That's what we're known for. Listen to
That's
this.
Jimmy's fault, actually.
Yeah, that's Jimmy. Yeah. We couldn't fit him onto this. Yeah, he's a little bit dirty because he thinks he's got the cut, but we can only get four screens that can fit up on the screen for these videos. So we'll make sure we get him on for the Aaron episode. He can have Aaron on his own. Aaron will be good.
Good luck, Azza, as well. I know you're going to be listening to this. Good luck, Azza. You're killing it, man.
We're rooting for all of you, and even Aaron. You know what I mean? He's the way he's transformed in the last 12 months is pretty inspirational. So we're pumped to see what he brings to that 212 stage. Guys, thanks again for coming on. You're going to say something, Josh?
Yeah, I was going to. Yeah, like Steve Orton as well. He's almost like one of us, right? An Aussie.
Yeah.
Have you competed against him, Justin? Steve, before?
No, mate. He. I think when I was competing and Steve was competing now, but he was either doing the mid-year or end-of-year shows, and I was doing the opposite. So I never had a chance to compete. That would have been awesome.
He's.
the way I took it, I thought Steve was running away from Justin when they were both competing. Never.
Ooh, I don't know about that, but there's
We're going to get Steve on the show in the next couple of weeks, so I'm going to make sure I remember that question. Gally, write that one down. Ask him whether or not
I honestly believe us four, like with Steve included, are going to be, have a lot of. We've got a lot of momentum going into it with all what we bring to the stage, and I think that we're going to be up there in the top.
Yeah,
and I'm not just saying that because you guys are in front of me. I fully believe that.
Yeah.
And even though Justin, you're not going in it to win it. Your condition's insane, man. Like when I saw it, that's why I'm doing 3 cardio sessions. I just don't look fat next year.
Oh, look, you always have the mind. You have the mindset that you're preparing to win. But I guess at the show like this against the guys are going to be there. I definitely want to stand out. So I'll be working towards my strengths.
But awesome. You guys are keeping the sport alive in this country. You really are, because without you three, you know what I mean? Like, people wouldn't be getting as excited about this pro show as they are. So, kudos to all of you, mate. And, you're going to kill it, no doubt.
And also, shout out to Doldy's Perth. I'm heading there Saturday for the week, so I can just train and eat and sleep. And you were just there too, Justin, so I think we're, trading places.
Mate, and I was very pleasantly surprised. What a great gym the boys have got over there. I love training
it's
there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brendan. Do you want to quickly give your posing clinic a plug?
Yeah, this Saturday, 12 till 2 at Doherty's in Perth, 154 Edward Street. So come on down. It's free, no charge. Anyone who wants to learn, we've got all the pros helping out as well. Hope you can make it. You listening?
We promoters always have a little bit of a race to see who can get the most registrations up leading up to a comp, and I'm actually happy to say that Josh is winning this one so far.
It's only because we're first.
No, I wouldn't say that. The Western Australia, you've done well with Western Australia, mate. You should be very proud.
No, they're all really lucky. They're a great crew.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks again for coming on. Good
guys.
luck, and enjoy the rest of your cardio for the night. I'll catch you later, and everyone, thanks for watching or listening. See you later.
Thanks, guys.